ideas of what to do at the start of the game. An early mid-ward placed by Toronto Tokyo, but shouldn't be able to catch any first blood unless Tundra somehow wraps around behind Toronto Tokyo. Hey, we're talking about it. We are going to be seeing the Faceless Void Gyrocopter duo, but this time in reverse. This time we're going to have the carry Void and the support Fada Gyrocopter. T, I got to ask you real quickly. Have you tried the Gyro Shard? Have you tried the new one? Is it good or is it shit?
It's kind of on the tail end of your question. Yeah, it's okay, but like you need. I'm trying to sugarcoat it here. Like in a test lobby, it's amazing. It's so much fun. But in a real game, it's like it doesn't really translate because it's a little bit of barrage damage. But yeah, realistically, utility is a lot better. I was hoping you were going to ask me the more important question there, Cap, which is, do you think Fata has unbound his flak key today? Because he's a +5 gyro.
Yeah, probably.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Do you think he can put any points into it? I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, you probably just want more stats, if anything, And he's certainly not going to be getting high enough level that he's like, I can't level stats anymore. I have to go flanking.
What a
that
shame,
just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to Fada. It doesn't happen for 5s, and it doesn't happen for Gyrocopter 5 either. So our bottom lane is going to be Snake King this time around, is going to be playing the Pango. Last time when we saw Tundra picking up this hero, it was constantly being played by Fada as a 5%. And I have to say, I was actually pretty impressed how that hero could just man-fight up against anybody. I was watching it man-fight a Train Protector in lane, and I was like, damn, this shield crash, you just get 2 levels of shield crash, 1 level of lucky shot, and you just fight whoever will possibly turn around and fight you back. And I'm interested to see how Snake King's going to be leveling it as a 4 position, if there's going to be any change in the skill build in that regard.
I think it just does so much, right? Like when you look at what it provides now, it's like it's slow and damage reduction. It does 90 damage to secure range creep. Like you can just play in the fight, and Miposhka, he's getting pretty low top, just like Mira's getting low bottom as well. But yeah, it's like Visage change. He has an extra 300 range on his soul assumption. Like that spell already was pretty busted. We never really saw it competitively, but like the concept of you soak damage and then you do damage, and then you have a hero that is able to soak a lot of damage with a shield crash. Like on paper, it's really good strat. And poor Mira, he can't even play top. Like the supports are struggling so much right now in the laning phase.
Yeah, Fada seems to have one job and one job only, and that's keep Mira totally out of the lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane is just a constant battle between these 2 melee supports, where Miposhka, as an Omni Knight, usually feels pretty good trading thanks to Purification, but Snake King's actually making it a little bit hard with Shield Crash and then the Soul Assumption thrown over the top. 9 is really going to go for 10 stacks right now. 9, he stays on top of him, and he gets the first blood ever so barely before he falls and gets the reset. A dream situation for 9.
And then Mira going to be falling as well.
Yeah,
maybe.
He's definitely going to be pushed back, but maybe Fada's going to be traded out here, pushed into the tower. Fairy Fire will not keep him alive. It's a little early. Meanwhile, Fada actually also, it's just, we're all over the place.
Beautiful high 5 game there, trading back and forth, like, how I'm going to kill you. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. And then, very close there. But no, you mentioned it as well whilst we were killing the bat, like in the bot lane. I actually love the theory behind this offlane duo. The shield crash and soul assumption, like they're using it really well. Like he's always getting 2-man shield crashes and just really just getting in there. And like you see in the draft, the reason why they picked this Omni Knight is just because they need a hero who can play 5 and provide sustain, right? Like you cannot pick a 5 position that can kill against Visage. Like you need to be able to allow your Morphling to farm here. So very much like a reaction in the draft, where they're probably not going to feel too great having the hero, but it at least gives Morphling, the 10 minutes of playing the laning phase.
You know what I love about that kill mid is that last patch, it would have gone the way of Toronto Tokyo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because level 1 Firefly, the double the damage at level 1 right now, is what secures him the kill first, which gives him the experience, gives him the first blood. Like it's so important for him to be able to pick that up. So I think that's interesting because it does show that both of these mids like knew their limits in that regard. And Toronto Tokyo, he would have been the one correct if it was just last patch.
Yeah, this is probably one of those moments where as well, where like Toronto Tokyo, he feels like he can muscle up a little bit more, and it just shows. I think 9 has kind of showcased and surprised a lot of people throughout the previous tournaments, where he's putting like that extra little bit of something into his gameplay just to surprise everyone competitively at least.
Mira Trying to chase him down. Never mind. Collapse is just kind of standing there as a wall in front. Of course, this is a, if you'd been following the Eastern European DPC, Team Spirit, who was definitely one of the surprise teams coming out of the Eastern European region, especially in that second season, did fantastic. And Collapse Mars was just a signature for them. And they've got it back into their hands.
I think it needs to be a signature right now because Mars in the tournament so far is ESL 4. 5 games, 5 losses. I think it's Thunder Predator twice, Empire, Creep Wave. It's just not looking that hot. So if there's a team to win with Mars when it's already, you know, 0-5, it has to be Spirit.
Maposhka just chased away by Snaking again with the 2 levels of Shield Crash and the 1 level of Lucky Shot. Really hard for any hero to fight back. Fortunately, had a healing salve on the way, so he'll still be able to sit and help out Yutaro, who does not have great CS. 13-3. It seems like the soul assumption spam is keeping him just not. He can't just stay low enough agility. Oh, Spear into Hex, into a big hit from Collapse. Is going to be able to get the kill onto Skeeter. You said it needed to be a signature. It's got no wins right now at ESL 1 and on this new patch. And Collapse, he's top of the network chart and he's top CS as well.
Yeah, this is the kind of the repercussion of how Fada was playing top lane because he sacrificed his own levels to annoy the Lion, but then eventually the Lion was able to play with Mars, and now the Void will get a little bit, you know, pressured in top. And I think looking at this bot lane once again, the real question for 33 is, even though Helm of the Overlord is, you know, hot right now, realistically, like a Solar Crest on a pipe probably will be the play for him, just so he can, you know, be tanky, and then maybe eventually he can go for the item later. But it will be interesting if he goes for old Visage, where auras, like actual auras are the play, or if he goes for like the new item. But I kind of feel like the old auras are a little bit better right now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so you want to be tanky there.
Oh, a bump back. Nice. Flame break by 9 is going to be able to get the lasso pull back in. Now, Toronto Tokyo can still be saved here as both supports TPing in to make sure he stays alive. 9 doing a good job of just being patient there, seeing the support TPs in. He doesn't try and turn around and kill the Leshrac with his double damage or anything. He just accepts the fact, okay, I forced rotations. I'm going to call it quits.
Yeah, they forced a rotation as the catapults come into bot lane, so it'll be really interesting to see how Spirit reacts to this. Are they going to just instantly run back to bottom, or is Tundra going to try and make a play on this wave?
Well, unfortunately, they weren't able to get the push going fast enough. Maposhka's now back into lane.
Oh no, the catapult.
And Mira is back up to top as well. He can kind of help Collapse do some extra damage with this catapult, at least 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah, both catapults in the side lane just kind of run into the tower. So, yeah, both teams just playing chill right now, not, you know, getting too aggressive of any early rotations.
Fana's got some stacks going on in the jungle for 9 to keep accelerating his game. It's about the time to go clear through those stacks and pick up his boots of travel. And then we could start seeing 9 kind of, you know, he's got so many interesting heroes, but there is a very clear archetype for him. He likes mobile, fast, burst heroes.
Yeah.
Void Spirit, Earth Spirit, this Coddle that he's now pulling in. Fana is going to get punished for going for these stacks. Good read by Team Spirit, knowing that this is going on again. This matchup is an intimate affair. Toronto Tokyo is going to be losing in that 1v1 against 9, though. But maybe they could still catch Snake King with Collapse pulling over and helping out. The damage reduction is not going to be enough to keep Snake King alive. And they do stop 9 from clearing this hard camp stack. So they still have a chance to be able to maybe take it themselves as soon as the Leshrac is back. We'll see what Tundra does to respond.
Yeah, really feeling the effect of the Firefly change there, because like the Leshrac, he's looking pretty healthy, and then suddenly, you know, a couple napalms, 2 right clicks, and, you know, sitting inside the Firefly because of the rocket, he's already gone.
Thinking about it, Mira daring them to go for it because Toronto Tokyo did TP in right behind to make sure that support didn't go down alone.
Yeah, now
Collapse still top CS. He's still feeling really good about his game.
Yeah, he's doing really well, but this is now the point where Tundra's going to be very happy because they defended the stacks initially and now able to, you know, capitalize and take on them. And while Spirit, they're kind of like, even though they're doing well with Collapse, he can't suddenly just run around the map and do things. And they need to be really disciplined because one wrong move, Visage is now like, you know, taking your bot tower. Collapse TP's away, then the Void's able to free farm 2 or 3 waves. And early on, Void's the type of hero that he doesn't want to feel pressured. So Spirit, they are very much locked into their lanes just to kind of defend, because they might even kill the Void.
Arena into Spear, into the plethora of disables from the
Nice.
Lion should be enough to be able to get that kill.
Yeah, and that's perfect. Just sit in your lanes and force Tundra to have to push towers, have to make the move, and we'll most likely see Void, TP to bot lane after this, farm up this bottom area of the map, unless they have some wild play of killing top.
Nice TP away from Collapse.
Really
That's going to
good.
be a not quite wasted lasso because it does push them off the tower while they are taking that bottom tower. So when it comes to early map control, Tundra is going to be favored here. But at the same time, Toronto Tokyo did do a decent amount of damage to the mid tower. So they can get another push like that, take the mid tower. Ultimately, that is the most valuable tower in the map. Still, because the map didn't change with the patch, T.
Yeah, I won't lie. When I loaded up the patch, 7.3, whole new number, I did think general changes would be really big, really hefty, and it was like 5 bullet points. Oh, all right, sure, that's fine. But I can see why they did that, right?
You were dreaming a dream that could never come true there, Robson. There's no way that they were going to introduce grand arching changes to Dota right before TI.
I know. Like, as soon as I had that realization, I was like, oh yeah, TI's like, 45 days away. Probably shouldn't, change the entire economy and, XP or whatever.
That was lame.
Alas.
Still at it. Still trying to take this top tower. Toronto Tokyo is going to give the assist here. They've got the siege creep coming in. They've got Toronto Tokyo with 3 levels of diabolic edict. 9 is finally going to say, okay, fine. You can have it. You can have the evened out map control now. Or maybe Tundra wants to be able to take a fight of some kind. They do have Chronosphere and Rolling Thunder. They've got some big team fight abilities. If Team Spirit wander up here a little bit too close like Mira is just about to do,
Spirit
they
doing
may
a really
try and
good.
pounce and get a fast kill.
They are doing a really good job playing around Collapse. The way they shift the map, they play on this aggressive what they have in the jungle, more farming mid. Like, Tundra doesn't really have the damage outside of maybe the lockdown of, this Rolling Thunder into a +1. Yeah, see?
Going for Toronto Tokyo, but it's not going to be an easy kill. They're going to roll back onto him. Fada is immediately taken out by Collapse. They do manage to get the follow-up Chronosphere, but there's not a ton of damage behind it. There's enough damage to be able to get the kill on a Collapse, but it's Toronto Tokyo who they've got to watch out for. Oh, the shield crash not quite landing. He doesn't touch the ground. The Visage is coming in from behind, though. They've got the last of the pulling back, but he doesn't have the Firefly. If anything, Toronto Tokyo wants to stay close to 9. He wants to stay hip to hip if possible. Mira's going to have a hard time with these familiars. He goes down to that. Nicely kited by 9. Eventually did bring down Toronto Tokyo with the flame break, and Maposhka next support to be run down by 33, as this is the point where Visage is just totally uncontested. Nice spear to create a little bit of space, and Yotaro, Yotaro going in like that. That is insane. Oh no, he totally misjudged that one. He may be in trouble here. His support is certainly going to be costing his life. Yotaro still has just enough HP to be able to survive thanks to the raindrops, thanks to the Omni Knight who gave his life for Yotaro's misstep. Snaking, nice spear into Toronto Tokyo with the split earth. They should have enough burst damage for, and a nice little cherry on top to what was kind of a kind of ill-tasting cake for them. That was not a great team fight for Team Spirit overall.
Yeah, like, you see the start of that fight, Spirit does a really good job just kind of like baiting Tundra in to, take the engagement. But at the tail end, unfortunately, Omni Knight actually had a tome in his backpack, not in his inventory. So he wasn't able to eat it and instantly get his ultimate. And that was then, the result of a couple of the heroes actually dying at the tail end of that fight. Hopefully we actually get to see, so we see it here. So Snaking starts the fight, rolling in, and instantly, Maposhka's doing a good job. And I believe, is it already here on him? We'll see in a second when we click on Maposhka at the tail end of the fight. But yeah, like, around about now when he hits 6, like, his career is flying out. Like, this is where he can turn the fight by maybe getting the GA off. He perfectly, expertly keeps Collapse alive. And it's like, oh, it's looking great. But yeah, then Visage comes from the bottom side. And that's where, the physical damage really comes into play. He starts clicking them down.
Yeah, certainly. It definitely would have helped
here it is.
Supports to live a lot longer.
That was the courier delivery. And unfortunately, if he had it here, like, it technically, would have maybe saved the right click of the Lesh, the small things, but maybe not. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating it for the hype.
We're going to go back into the game, though. Mid lane, Toronto Tokyo. He's going to need to build out by Maposhka. Big initiation from a Collapse, though. They were certainly ready for Toronto Tokyo to receive a bit of aggression and return it tenfold, it seems. They take that mid-tier 1 tower. Tundra not ready to fight right now. They didn't have Chronosphere. It's only just now coming up. 9 wasn't ready to go either. And so as a result, Team Spirit will take that early bit of map control that taking a mid-tier 1 tower does allow.
Yeah, the key thing here for Spirit is like their team fight is based around getting the jump and killing off a key core, and then they can play around the kite of Morphling, Omni Knight enabling. Whilst like Tundra, they can play like the fight as slow as they want because they like the Void has no real pressure to use Chrono, other than when like his team has the items to help kill within the Chrono. So yeah, Tundra, they're going to want to keep it slow, as you see like the kill score. You know, Spirit, they're the ones really looking to be the aggressors and to break down the map before you have Visage, Bat, Void, all unkillable with, 2-3 items.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
11-5, a slight lead for Team Spirit right now in what has been a pretty close matchup, but there is that looming threat of the Visage, who now has an Orchid, is going to be going to BKB, so you're right, no Helm of the Overlord.
Thank you. I was expecting him to go more auras, but I guess like as the game developed and we saw the fights, in reality, like if he goes auras, they actually have no damage for like 20-25 minutes. So him going for an Orchid, going for like him going into the fight, it then unlocks a good Rolling Thunder, a good Firefly lasso jump, the Void get the good Chrono. So he's very much playing to be the vision enabler for his team with this type of build.
And especially with Toronto Tokyo and his Yules being a bit delayed because he went for Hooded Defiance. Now picking it up, so we'll see whether or not he can actually, if he's going to be surprised by the Orchid at 8 point time for 33 while his Yules is on cooldown, or if maybe it's your Toro, the Morphling, who gets caught out by the Orchid pickup. Either way, the smoke rotation from Team Spirit isn't quite finding anything. They're just on the edges here. The smoke is going to break on Miposhka. They're going to run straight at Fada, but this is not a kill that they really wanted with this smoke gank. But they can maybe win the team fight afterwards. They look to be able to blow up Fada. They easily get him. Snake King is going to roll on out. 9 going to fly himself away as well. They say, okay, that's a 4-man Smoke King for our 5 position gyrocopter. So, it's not that big of a deal.
Oh,
but a bigger deal would certainly be 33, who is barely inside of the arena, gets speared up, and he's not going to have any help from his allies coming in. A big pickup by Collapse, and 33 just... that 4-man smoke gank, it was supposed to give you a lot of information. Something like that wasn't supposed to happen, Robson.
Yeah, they kind of got baited by their envision there on Tundra because like 33 is trying to eke out a bit more farm, but like their double ward setup, they have a bottom rune and then in their own jungle, it doesn't give that like entry to the jungle, right? And that's where Spirit, they instantly get that mid kill, but they don't have any moment of thought, right? It's like, guys, go straight back to the jungle, kill the guy being greedy. So yeah, Spirit just playing at a slightly higher pace than Tundra, and that is allowing them to continue to pressure the objectives.
33 is coming back. This tier 2 is just about to fall. Team Spirit, they're going to get caught. Oh no, the tier 2, just a sliver left. They don't have a real round either. Toronto Tokyo, they're going to try and burst him down, but there is Miposhka right behind him. He needs to be able to get out the purification still. Keeps the Leshrac a little bit higher. Skeeter's ready to go with the Chronosphere though. See if they can burst down Toronto Tokyo. Nice dodge of the Impale. They do manage to finish up that big damage dealer of Team Spirit. 2 down on the side, make it a 3rd with Mira being chased down by 9. The rest of Team Spirit calling it quits. They got baited in, T-Gov, by the fact that tier 2 it's so close to death. Just stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah, like Tundra, like they have to defend here because like the Morphling's just farming Ancients and Spirit's trying to be cheeky because it's like, well, we've got the Omni Knight, right? Like we can keep these heroes alive. We've got the Hood, the Yules on Leshrac. But yeah, when you come in with the Chrono and then just the overwhelming presence of heroes, it's rather easy to kill here. Like if you look at the minimap, the Morph's already, bot. He's not showing any lanes, but this is just Tundra going at 17 minutes. You should not be able to hit our tower. We have the kings of tower defense, which is the Rolling Thunder, a Chronosphere, and then they use them quite beautifully. Omni Knight caught inside the Chrono once again, unable to actually enable the Leshrac. But I believe his spells were also on cooldown. Yeah, as you see there, even if he wasn't in Chrono, the Leshrac would have died.
But as you said, just a good read from Tundra,
yeah,
right? They should not be allowed to take this tier 2, especially since they just used Arena to be able to pick up 33. Like, just go fight. Team Spirit, though, in response to that, we're like, okay, you guys use Chronosphere. What happens if we just go Roshan? Are you going to fight us then?
Yeah, well, they have the BKB on Batrider with a haste rune. So if they want to contest this, it could cause some havoc, but I just don't think they're going to be there in time. They're already showing Void in bot lane. You've got Skeeter, running to the jungle as well. Like, this is just a free Roshan for Spirit. And yeah, and a good read from them as well. We're going to have
a second life on Yotaro, who does have just the Manta right now, so he's not at that place where he's got the big E-Blade. Bit of damage, but he is becoming more and more a persistent threat in team fights that Tundra is going to have to worry about a bit. I'm trying to look at item progression outside of that, but I don't see a ton on Tundra that's going to like really change the game state for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, not really. There is a little bit of like Skidder has invested a lot into like these cheaper damage items. So you're going for obviously Maelstrom Farm and Echo Saber, which he might disassemble for the BKB, but in reality, like in previous games, we just keep it as an Echo Saber now. But yeah, like they're all just playing for probably to farm the map, get BKB. Like this is the type of game where you allow Spirit to take these tier 2s, you play in their jungle, and then you get BKBs, you defend a tier 3 once, the game's back in your favor. Just depends on how much conviction Spirit has right now, as they already show up at the high ground with a heavenly graced Morphling, with the Aegis and a Manta. Like, this is going to be a difficult one to kill. Once, but not even twice.
Bit of a cheeky poke there at the tier 3.
Extra cheeky. 900
damage, not too bad. You know, just something to force a reaction. You're not really overly committing too much. And Toronto Tokyo is making the call for his team. He says, guys, make a fast rotation into the triangle. We can catch them. Some of them are still going to be inside of their base. And he's absolutely right. Collapse. Managed to land the arena onto 33 and gets the positioning to spear back into his boys. Beautiful stuff. 9. He's going to go for it, though. He's got his BKB. A nice 3-man flame break into the Chronosphere. Now, that was a nifty little combo. Toronto Tokyo still has the HP to survive through this, but 33 is munching on some heroes right now, taking down Collapse, and now they've got infinite chase to be able to catch up to Toronto Tokyo. The only survivor of that team fight will be the hard carry of Team Spirit, Yotaro.
What a beautiful fight from Tundra. Oh, let's watch the missile. It's going to go bonk soon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. I'm really good at counting. Yeah, so
you are. That's why you're the analyst spot. You know, you're able to do those numbers real good.
Well, as soon as you go to like smite mode, it was kind of hard to see the distance between the rocket and the Morphling. But anyways, yeah, really good fight from Tundra in regards to kind of utilizing buyback there. They were very patient, very close to also surviving. But Collapse, he got a bit hasty. He just wanted to jump in, kill the Visage, but I don't think they were expecting Visage to buy back at that minute, because like at 20 minutes, right? Like you get this kill. Because this is a kill, you chase him out of the triangle, you probably reset, you look at mid-tier 2. But, of course, he has enough money because he's trying to go for the BKB, and then they instantly jump in. And this is where Batrider with the BKB, he's able to stop the Omni Knight from enabling inside the Chrono. Like, if he gets GA off here, this is probably a completely different fight, because they're going to be able to at least turn around and start pumping out some damage. But, yeah, just really good from 9 and Skeeter there to combo up and just pretty much remove every single player from the fight until the Visage is back and ready to kill.
Hey, something about this game. Maposhka's been doing an admirable job. I think he's been doing excellent, but it is a hard game for this Omni Knight. Rolling Thunder is really good because it just kind of rolls through a core, and then, you know, you're usually within striking distance. He just rolls to you as well. Chronosphere, same deal. You're going to be caught in that same kind of AoE bubble where you're trying to get off heals or purification or something, and you're caught inside the AoE disable. There's Batrider to look out for. You know, it's a hard game for him to be able to get off those spells perfectly, but if he can get it off, it's so crucial for them to be able to win these big team fights.
Yeah, and I think for Spirit, like the way that they've been playing in the last like 12 minutes, they've occupied this dire jungle as if it was their own. Like they've actually shown like no regard of their own bottom side of the map, which has enabled Skidder or 33, whoever, just to kind of like eke out a little bit more farm. And I think Spirit hasn't really completely choked down or like locked down the entire map. And like if you look at the net worth now, Void went from being like below the cores and he's now like slowly eking his way up. Of course they just want a team fight, but the fact that Spirit has had such a aggressive positioning where they also weren't like, they haven't really been able to utilize this Aegis, Tundra is slowly clawing their way back in as Skidder's expertly just keeping up with the Morphling.
Yeah, and look what he did. He broke apart the Echo Saber like you're potentially theorizing he would do. And he's just making the read that like these, he's going back for the Echo Saber, but he's saying like these 2 or 3 minutes are so crucial to the game that like I need my BKB right now, because this is the moment. Like Team Spirit, if they manage to get one Smoke Ink, one good team fight, boom, they're breaking down tier 2s. They probably secured second Roshan. They're gonna just like get a chokehold on the map. Meanwhile, if Tundra, they successfully defend one of these team fights, it'll probably be the first time they're able to push onto the enemy side of the river, get that mid-tier 1 tower. Maybe they get the second Roshan.
Yeah, and now Tundra, after 30 minutes of aggression. They now finally smoke up. They have all their spells. And we have some smoke on smoke action.
Well, I'm smelling something cooking right now. They're going to bait out a double damage, but immediately jump back from Utoro. Oh, BKB activated by Skeeter, but he only catches one of the Chronosphere, and immediately Mapochka is there with Guardian Angel. Can they keep this Leshark alive? They're having a hard time, but doing it, there's just too much damage. The Orchid mixed with the burst damage of 33 is too much. Now the second bout of the fight going down with the arena. They managed to catch two in the back line, but they do also have inside of this arena, Utoro trying to pump out the damage. The E-Blade, though, he's morphing his strength. He's not going to be doing anything more. They just gotta try and get out. Even with the buyback coming in from Mapochka, it is about survival right now, not about turning around this team fight. And Mapochka is unfortunately gonna have a die back here. A spear back into the tier 2, but again, nothing doing. There's nothing behind that. Tundra are just gonna run over. Oh, E-Blade, not quite enough. A buyback. Lion, can he catch him? Knight. Oh, the immediate lasso. He keeps himself alive a little bit longer and manages to do it. He kills Mira for the dieback and stays alive, fighting for his life. Tundra winning a huge team fight in this game 1.
Yeah, Spirit now just really kind of looking at their hairs, going, oh, where's the damage now? Because they have like all the the control and the the survivability, but like they don't have a way to get to kill anything. Visage is rather tanky. Void has his BKB, like we mentioned before, disassembling the Echo Saber. And like the start of that fight wasn't even that clean for Tundra, right? Like you see the Void time walk in, he actually goes to low ground, has to chrono, like run around. Like it wasn't the cleanest to fight, but Spirit just weren't able to do anything because when the BKBs come out, it's morphed the world and went for the E-Blade build. So now he's also somewhat like a magical style carry, and now all the damage
Are
is
you
mitigated.
surprised by that?
Yeah, a little
Did you
bit,
think he was going to go like Scotty? I kind of thought.
Yeah, I thought, going for the Skadi, Satanic, and just being able to muscle up would be key, because if he survives the chrono, and then Tundra's lineup's about jumping on top of you, if he can stand his ground and just right-click, that's the play, because with an E-Blade, you're playing into a BKB Batrider, you're playing into Visage where it doesn't feel too comfortable, Pango's going to eventually buy the shard so he can dodge it, and then Void, of course, again, BKB. So the E-Blade does feel a little bit kind of more of like a muscle memory style of play, where it's like, I like to buy it, I like to kill, but I think in this game, adapting it and playing more for yourself would have been potentially better.
Yeah. And that does mean that Team Spirit's playstyle, it becomes more important for them to get the initiation, right? Because as you said, you go the Scotty Satanic build, you can counter-initiate. Yes. You can be gone on by the Chronosphere, survive, and bounce back. But with this build, you need to be able to burst somebody down to get a 4 versus 5, and they're going for it right now on 33. But the Gravekeeper's Cloak is so hard for him to be able to bring down, and he's got the shard, the lasso on top of the Chronosphere. No. Anything to be able to bring down Utoro. With Toronto Tokyo pushed onto the high ground, he will die there on the hill, and that is going to be it for that team fight. Collapse does manage to get out, but a swift execution by Tundra that, again, it's looking like their late game is a bit too fearsome, T-Gov. I'm not sure if anything's going to turn around for Team Spirit in this game.
Well, I think Spirit needs to look at the way that Tundra has been playing previously and try and emulate that a little bit. Like Tundra, they put hyper defensive wards. They didn't really show too much on the map. They showed one core at a time on lanes, and then they took the fights needed when they knew they could win them. And that's kind of what Spirit has done. Like they were in the lead, but now they have to, they have to give up the map themselves. They need to start playing for when Morphling gets that Skadi, gets the Satanic, and is able to take the fight. That's the next time they can confidently look, because right now they don't have any damage. They're all it's a very one-dimensional lineup now, so they're going to have to give up the entire map pretty much and bide their time for that tier 3 defense.
And they were just so desperate to find a fight there that they go on the worst hero to do so. Like, they specifically pick Visage against this Morphling because you cannot shotgun down that hero. And it's even, it's a counter to Morphling before, but now you've got that stone form as well with the shard. They're going to be able to jump in. This is a better target. They immediately take out Snake King. Snake King does not have a buyback here, but the rest of Fada and his crew are ready to return fire here. They do manage to get a spear out on a gyrocopter, not quite what they were hoping. Skeeter apparently time walking up onto the hill to deal with the wards. Toronto Tokyo, though, he needs some help, and I don't think he's going to be able to get it in time. Skeeter's going to be able to run him down the Orchid. The extra bit of pop, that's an easy double for 33, as again, Team Spirit feels like they're just trying to force team fights because they know inevitably Tundra is going to outscale them at this point. They are going to get that Roshan, and the game is just naturally just going to scale out of their hands.
Yeah, they just keep running into this impenetrable defense of Tundra, and you know, it happens once more. I think the previous fights where Spirit have smoked up, they found the Gyrocopter, they found a Visage who had buyback, and then they found, you know, the Pangolier who, even without buyback, they're in now such a dire position where Tundra can just run them over. So, yeah, Spirit, all of their proactive moves as a nice lasso comes in. It's not really netting them
Nine
anything.
is totally by himself. The rest of the team is coming, but of course they were doing Roshan, so they may actually try and punish 9. After all, he did use his BKB
There
here.
it is.
Oh, the Earth Spike doesn't catch Skeeter as he jumps in. That means the Lion's going to be dying here, but Collapse is still going to try and go for it here. Still trying to kill 9. Toro, though, he's got the E-Blade. He's got to protect himself from this damage, but the Orchid's going to pop him. It's just not good enough. They are all inning on this Bat Rider, but even if they get him, at this point, it's not looking like a good team fight for them whatsoever. It started off looking like a potential pickoff, but 9 survived too long, and now Tundra.
Oh, and Collapse as well.
They're going to run down all of these heroes, it seems. Rolling on up. Oh, Spirit Vessel just not canceling that TP or blink fast enough. But either way, Tundra with 4 down, going to hit the tier 2. Very likely hit the high ground a bit and see what happens.
Yeah, nice discipline there. And this is the confidence that you have in the team. That's why I think Tundra is so fun to watch, not only in draft but in play. Because you see how, like, as soon as they're taking Aegis, they know the time needed to go from Roshan to wherever a Bat's playing. And that's why he's, you know, up in the face of Morphling. Because it's like, well, worst case scenario, if they jump me, I have my BKB, I've got Octarine, I'm going to be pretty tanky. And then Skitter's going to be able to come in with that Chrono. So I love the fact that they're playing the entire map with 4 heroes one place and the other hero elsewhere. Like, yeah, it's really, really good stuff from Tundra. And with this performance, I think Spirit, they really are going to be on the back foot for, and they need to really just hope Tundra doesn't play with like this insane pace and somehow slows it down. But Tundra is not the type of team to do that. They're just going to, you know, wait for Bat Rider, smoke up again, and run back down at Spirit.
Yeah, they do seem to protect their lead very well. And at this point, I mean, I know the panel was talking about it. They were like, you know, we'd love to be able to see somebody else step up because basically 9 has been playing so incredibly well that the rest of the team hasn't needed to do much. Once again, it feels like it's the 33 and 9 show where both of them, I mean, just look at their scores, 9, 2, and 16, 10, 2, and 8 on 33. They just did such a fantastic job taking over the early to mid game that it's just been kind of a dream for Skeeter ever since. As he's fearlessly going to chase after heroes because he's got an Aegis. So,
oh no.
Yeah. Poor Miposhka indeed is going to try and prolong his life with a Heavenly Grace and hope they don't chase any longer. But and I think in Miposhka, they're just going to stay on top of you because I don't think they really care about anybody else.
Even if he gets jumped, oh no. They're discussing the game plan for number 2, you know?
They're hoping somebody's like, oh, I'll be back by myself and defend that tower, and then all of a sudden shotguns with the finger, and it would be a beautiful pickoff. They'd force more TPs as a result. Not going to be the case. As you said, Tundra, very disciplined, defending their lead very well. Right now, they're just all sitting behind Skeeter. They're not even all hitting the tier 3. It's just Skeeter with a bunch of heroes playing a bit distant behind him.
Like, this is one of those games where it has showcased so far the confidence in the team and also the discipline of like the call they're making. Because like Tundra, they gave up so much of their map to allow the farm to, you know, be generated on their side so that they can make these plays. Then I think Spirit, they did kind of get into this full sense of security where it's like, well, we're playing in the enemy jungle. That must mean we're out farming them, right? Where, you know, secretly that doesn't really happen because when you invade, the enemy team is naturally going to shift around and, you know, split the map differently. And now Spirit, of course, are going to be facing the consequences as we saw them, you know, sitting top in the hope to get, you know, that one pick off at 33 minutes.
Yeah. Plus, they invaded, but they invaded that jungle and held that jungle pretty nicely. But I don't think they ever really got a hold of the triangle. Right?
No, yeah, like they got the Aegis, but not like Aegis with the tier 2, Aegis with some tier 3 pressure. It was like just holding the Aegis in the same place, unfortunately.
Time is money.
And now, 16,000 net worth down. Team Spirit struggling to be able to come up with a game plan that allows them to be able to win a 5-on-5, because then it seems like Tundra is not going to give them any freebies. No pickoffs. Right now, they're just constantly playing as 5-9, not even like really showing on the creep wave, just flame breaking it to push it in.
And this is a smoke from Team Spirit into complete darkness. They have no vision on the map right now. The Poshka holding down one ward, and this is going to be they're hoping Tundra's greedy, because at this state of the game, teams get really comfortable with playing the map. They also timed Roshan because, of course, Void just had his Aegis expire, so they were hoping that there's going to be a little bit of greediness. I think going in throughout DPC, Skidder was known for being the type of, the RTZ style core where he gets Aegis, he's off by himself on the other side of the map farming. But you can see that they've really kind of tightened that up recently, because he's with his team now. They don't need to do anything special. Just be together, play in your vision, and then walk down lanes.
Yeah, for a kid who started off in elementary school watching TI2, decided he wanted to be the best carry in the world, still trying to improve and make it to that point. And they got awfully close with Tundra in the European qualifier to actually go to TI to see if they can prove one of the best teams. Sadly just fell a bit short against OG. They're looking to be able to still showcase their skills here at ESL One Fall. With right now, it's looking like they're going to be fighting for first place in Group A against Virtus Pro, with them already having 2 victories apiece. And if Tundra manages to win this one as well, then it's just Virtus Pro standing in their way.
And this is the type of tournament for Tundra where, like, in the old format, or like last year when TI was in August, this roster might not have been able to stick together because of, TI's already done, we have to do swaps. But because TI is a bit delayed, ESL is running a tournament, we get to see this creative team still stick it out pre-TI, and hopefully with some success at this event, we might even see them stay together post-TI, which is, uncharacteristic in most Dota teams. But no, hopefully, I think Tundra really has kind of made their mark in the last month or so as a team that is, pushing the envelope with creativity and also, the confidence together. So it's looking good so
If this
far.
was like traditional sports, and you were like a coach that was actually able to determine a roster, when you're looking at Tundra and the improvement they've made over this season, would you keep them together, or would you try and swap people out for to see if you can level up the roster even more? Because that's what happens, right? People like fail to go to TI, and you're like, okay, if it didn't happen this time, it's not going to happen next time. Because I want to win TI. I don't want to just qualify for TI. I want to fucking win that, And so if they don't even qualify, they're like, well, if this roster couldn't pull it off, it's not going to pull it off next year. So if you had control, would you keep this squad together?
I think I would, based off of the idea, like when you interview the team, when you see that kind of the chemistry of the team, it feels like it is improving every step. I think there's a lot of teams within DPC where you see their transformation and like they haven't made like an exceptional transformation, so you don't expect them to do so well maybe at TI. But like Tundra is the type of team where their previous performances, they far outweighed their entire DPC season, and it's kind of like you kind of want to see what would they do if they maybe did that a bit earlier. And I think with that alone, I want to see this team stick together. I want to see them, go into season 1 of next year and just showcase like, what if we'd won that game 5 of OG? Everything would be different, right? So, yeah, for sure. I think this is a roster that you want to stick together, because like a new patch has dropped, right? And what teams have really, pushed it a little bit further? Like they're not so scared to try something different, and that is hard to come by in Dota teams. So yeah, I really would like to see these guys stick together.
Similarly, Team Spirit certainly made quite the improvements over the course of the DPC. Season 1, Season 2, they just look like such a better team. They've just grown and gotten better and better. Unfortunately, it seems to be not quite enough for them to be taking a total hold of Game 1 anyway, with them just kind of being locked out of the map for the most part. They're just trying to get a little bit of farm here and there. And Dota Plus isn't really favoring them too much. I think they've got a 7% chance of victory right now. So right now we're just waiting for Tundra to kind of force the exchange. They're being a bit skittish about going high ground and probably just going to wait out for Roshan, which is going to have, Aegis and Aghanim Shard and Cheese? Is that it? Or Aghanim Scepter?
Yeah, it'll be the third one. So no, it won't have the Shard. It'll just have Aegis, Cheese, and Axe, yeah. My brain blanked then for a second. Whew.
Yeah, it's okay. I said Shard and Scepter.
Yeah.
I messed you up. That's
Thank
on
you,
me.
mate. But you know why it's 7% still the way of Spirit? Is because if you look at Gyrocopter, look what spell he leveled. If Morphling gets enough farm, maybe a cheeky Rapier in the mix as well, there is a lot of flack to come. So that is the 7% that we're seeing, simply because Fada did decide to be a little bit selfish and farm. Crazy concept on position 5, but he's now a big boy with that
what are you
flag.
doing?
Yeah, how dare you
You're
farm?
not allowed to farm.
Get a philosopher's stone. That's maximum.
You're supposed to stand in front of other people taking smoke ganks while your allies farm.
And he has done a great
That's your
job of
whole
doing
job.
that, to be fair. So maybe he's rewarded. The team looked at him and gone, go on, mate. Put 4 points in flag. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. You know, just you take a little bit.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, the Echo Saber's still in the Void's inventory. I was like trying to theory craft, like, is he going to buy Echo Saber, disassemble for BKB, re-buy Echo Saber, disassemble for like the Ags or something? But in this type of game, it's not warranted. But I could see in the future that style of build where when you're not needing to actually, you know, right-click heroes down, it's more like utility style. The consecutive disassemble and buy. That's a nice little angle.
It's finally here. Roshan's finally here, which means Tundra can finally take the Roshan. It's not the Aghanim Scepter. It's going to be the Shard. And, sorry, not the Shard. God.
Are you okay there,
It's the Refresher Shard.
It is
The
a shard
Refresher
cap. It's just the
not
other
the
shard.
Aghanim Shard. Anyway, they're finally going to do this Roshan, get that extra lives that they need between the Aegis and the Cheese, and then they can go high ground, and we can see whether or not they can actually break the spirit of Team Spirit.
At least they picked up a flicker on Spirit, right? Like, they're going to have a way to now get rid of, you know, the sticky napalm, the orchid, but that's about it. You know, it's the small things that Spirit need to look for now. Because
They got a psychic headband I didn't notice on Baposhka. That makes his job a lot easier with the blink dagger as well.
this is gonna, it's still a very much an uphill battle. I think Spirit, they need to try and hope that Tundra with this Aegis do get a little bit overconfident, maybe make that kind of deep dive, because how many fishing? Okay, we have one fishing opportunity, which is the Mars Spear back deeper into the base. But yeah, that's no Magnus that Spirit did rely on in their first series of the tournament, which was exceptional, and now Quiet was banned out.
Spear's gonna miss. Flame break back. They are gonna be able to get the Hex onto 9. They're gonna try and burst him down, but there's the Chronosphere
Beautiful.
onto 3. Beautifully set up, catching Maposhka in the back, who is also orchided by 33. They get the Glasso follow up onto Collapse and making sure he's not gonna get off his BKB arena. And that just leaves Yatoro and Mira, and they're not going to be here for long, because there goes their carry. And Mira's having to play inside of the fountain. GG is finally going to be called, and there you have it. Tundra